So I'm gonna do a little meditation with everybody before Leah hops on, and then she'll take over and she's going to talk about how we talk and what our words, the power of our words, and especially with negative words. And also she's going to lead us in a really nice meditation, so excited about that. So everybody just settle on in, and we'll get started right now. And I am just letting a couple more people in. But just settle yourselves in. And hi, Sharis. And if you just joined us, just letting you know, Leah will be here shortly, and I'm just filling in for the beginning. And we're going to start with a little meditation. So just settling in and taking a few deep breaths, and just feel yourself relaxing into your seat, taking that time to just check with yourself. Where am I today? What am I feeling? How's my energy today? Is it a little bit depleted, or am I feeling really strong today? Just noticing. Again, not fixing anything here. We're just noticing. It's always good to be aware of what's happening with us so that we can address things as they come. So take a few deep breaths into your belly, just breathing deeply into the hara, in through the nose and out through the mouth. I want to just sit here and relax for a moment in that space of peacefulness. Feel yourself settling down, your shoulders maybe relaxing, your breath quieting, your energy becoming more quiet, peaceful. Now I want you to take one hand and place it over your heart, and take the other hand and place it over your hara. We're going to do some breathing, and we're going to take a breath in and a slow breath out. So we're going to breathe in to the count of 4, and on the out breath, we'll breathe out to the count of 6. So one hand on the hara, one hand on the heart center, and set your intention that this breathing will help you to relax and calm your nervous system and help you feel peaceful for our session today. And of course, always invite your animal friends in to join you for any meditation you do. So we're breathing slowly into the hara. On the count of 4, breathing in. On the count of 6, breathing out. Keeping one hand on the hara and one hand on the heart. Breathing in on 4. Breathing out on 6. Focusing on the breath and just going slowly as you breathe in and out. Noticing that long breath that's on the out breath. Again, just breathing in on 4 and out on 6. I'm going to take a few more breaths here. Breathing in on 4 and out on 6. One hand on the heart, one hand on the hara. Follow your breath as it moves in and out of your body. And now on your out breath, when you're breathing in on 4, on the out breath, you'll be breathing out with the sound of ah. It can be as loud as you want. You're all muted. Or if you don't want to, you can just listen to me do that, but just a gentle sigh of ah on the out breath. So we're breathing in for 4 and out for 6. Ah. In for 4, out for 6. Ah. 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 I'm going to take 5 more breaths here. Breathing in for 4, breathing out for 6, and with the sound of ah. 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 When you've completed those 5 breaths, just relaxing, breathing naturally, placing your palms in your lap, up or down, whatever feels most comfortable for you. We're just going to sit here in this beautiful space we've created through our breath, noticing again how you're feeling. Are you feeling more peaceful? Just breathing naturally and sitting peacefully. Now take a moment to bring your hands to your crown and just feel yourself. Feel what's going on under your hands, any energy that may be flowing into your crown, and setting that intention that healing energy is flowing into your body now that you're nice and peaceful and relaxed. Notice any sensations you're feeling, maybe some heat under your hands or tingling or wavy sensation. Feeling that energy in your crown. Bringing your hands to your temples, maybe a little bit over your ears as well. This is such a beautiful way to connect to ourselves and bring ourselves back into our bodies, whether you practice Reiki or not. Bringing your hands down over your heart. Breathing into that beautiful energy flowing into your heart center. And now bringing your hands to your hara, finishing with a little grounding here. Noticing how you're feeling still. Maybe some energy moving into the hara here, giving you a nice little grounding feeling. So get ready for our session with Leah. And now letting go of this little practice and bringing your hands into Gasho and gratitude for our practice and for each other, for our time together as community. Taking a deep breath and thanking the animals who showed up for us today. And now I'm going to turn it over to Leah.
Thanks so much, Kelly. So I want to take advantage of this kind of energy that Kelly's created. And I want us to start with the experiment that I was telling you guys about. So what this is, and this is a perfect space for it because you want to make sure you're calm, you're connected, you're grounded before you do this, if you want to get the right messaging. So this is called, I think Kelly calls it divining, where you do muscle testing in your body to find out what the answer is, right? So one way you can muscle test is you can get a glass like this. So I'm going to use my hand because I don't have anything I could put this on. And so you want to say, like, you want to lift it up, right? And you want to make sure it's empty. If you use a bottle of water, it's a little bit harder because it's heavy. So you want to get something that has a little bit of weight, but not a ton of weight. And so you just want to be able to lift it up. Okay, yeah, that's what it feels like. And then you say, okay, my name is Leah. Okay. And I can still lift it up. My name is Bill. Okay. I could lift it up if I try, but it's much harder. So my name is Leah. No problem. My name is Bill. It's harder. It's heavier. I can feel it. So just do that a few times with yourself. My name is Jill. My name is, whatever that is, but you just say, okay, so a yes is it gets lifted up. A no is it stays solid. And this is why meditation is really important, because if you close your eyes and you say, okay, my name is Leah, I can lift it easily. My name is Bill. I can feel the heaviness of the glass because that's a lie, right? So this is a really great practice to do if, like, let's say you're not sure about a supplement you're going to take, right? And so you're like, okay, I just want to get out of my head. I want to go to what my higher self is telling me, right? So you could say, you can hold the vitamin in your hand, go, okay, I'm going to ask myself about this, put it down and just, or you can hold it while you're asking. And so use one hand to lift the glass or whatever it is. Sometimes I use a candle because a candle doesn't have that much weight, and just, you always start with a question, the answer to, like, I always start with, my name is Leah. Yep. Okay. That's a yes. My name is Bill. Oh, that's a no. And I'm literally using the same amount of strength. Okay. I'm not trying it. So then, because you don't want to go, wait, you don't want to lift it. You just want to barely lift it. So yeah, my name is Leah. I'm lifting it, but barely. My name is Bill. Okay. A lot heavier. It's not that I can't lift it. It's just, okay. So that's a no. And then I'll even ask my higher self, okay, is that a no? Yes, that's a no. So another way you can use this is with gauging what negativity does in your body, which is how we're going to use it today. So when I say, okay, my name is Leah, yes, that's a yes. Okay. Now I'm going to ask my higher self, my name is Bill. No. Okay. I'm going to say, I'm super smart. Okay. Easily, right? I'm super dumb. I'm ugly and people hate me. Oh, it's heavy. It's heavy because that is negativity in your body. So, or if I say, I'm super smart, people like me. Okay. I doubt everything I do. It gets heavy. I'm worried about my bills. It's heavy. It's heavy because it's a negative emotion. The energy of my body is like going, this is a no. So, and this is just for funsies. It's not like there's no science behind this. I'm not telling you like this is your gospel now. Only make all decisions by divining. Don't do that. But I like to do it because if I'm really confused, I'm like, okay, forget it. I'm just going to do this. Another way you can do it that's super simple is you get your thumb and your index finger and you make a circle. Then you get your other thumb and index and you make a chain, right? So it's like this. And you say, my name is Leah. You can easily, I'm pinching my finger and my thumb together. My name is Leah. My name is Leah. My name is Bill. I'm literally pulling it and it will not come apart. Okay. I'm really smart. People like me. I'm really dumb. People hate me. Okay. There's resistance there, but you can also do it like, my name is Leah. My name is Leah. Let me think of something. I'm the co-founder of SARA. Yes. I'm the co-founder of Apple. Okay. You're going to get any kind of lie. Now, you know what's really funny? I'm just sharing this because this is kind of information that's good to know. I was doing this with my mom one time and it wasn't working. And I'm like, how can this not be working? What's going on? She's like, because I lie all the time. I'm like, oh my God. And it's not like she's lying like a compulsive liar and she's weird that way. She lies about how she feels. She lies about, oh no, that's totally fine. Oh no, I can do that. Do you know what I mean? So and she knows it. She's like, yeah, I lie. So it doesn't work on me because I lie. So if it's not working, just kind of check in with yourself. It's not. But the reason I want to show you that is because when we're talking to animals, when we're saying, oh my gosh, I'm so worried. Oh my gosh, I wonder what's going to happen. That's negative energy. And we may not feel it, right? We might just feel it like in our heart, like, oh, I'm just so worried. But actually, they feel it and they feel it strongly. Because imagine if your higher self is telling you that's negative, you're like, okay, that means my energy, that's who I am at that moment, right? It's negative, it's heavy, it's not welcoming. So if you're doing a session with an animal and you're worried or you're upset maybe about what happened to the animal, because that happens a lot, right, Kelly? Like you go into the shelter. I know you've had this before. You go into the shelter, an animal comes in. Sometimes the people just like drop it off like a couch and you get really upset. So then when you're sitting with the animal, you're upset at the people, but the animal doesn't know the difference between being upset with their previous people or being upset with them. All they feel is that energy of anger. So we talked last week about our emotions, right? But our words are also connected to our emotions, which is why when we say all is well, you are safe, you are loved, all is well, that's powerful because we feel it, we mean it, right? And when we say it, we feel it. So if you truly believe in this moment, all is well, your energy shows it. One of the best ways to tell how you are when you're happy and when you're sad is think about yourself when you're super, super happy, like you're doing your day. It's almost like nothing can really get you down, right? And you're the same person. It's just your attitude has changed. So when you talk to people, you're happier, your words have more joy in them. But when you're upset and you're stressed out, your words also carry your emotion. People say, hi, oh, I'm great. I'm fine. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for asking. Your words have energy, but we don't really think about that. And that's why I love working with animals so much because they remind us, right? We have to be so mindful when we go sit with an animal, mindful of our words, of our energy, of our body positions, right? We're going in there and we're being super mindful. They remind us, hey, my words, how I'm speaking, are actually not only affecting me, but they're affecting my world around me, and especially animals, but also nature, also plants, water, the trees. Your negative emotions aren't just yours, you're sharing them with everyone. So if you think about it, I mean, look at the world right now with all the wars. Everyone's collectively sharing worry and stress and strain. And so it just compounds and compounds and compounds. But also the energy of love, the energy of peace, that also compounds. But we feel that's a weaker energy, right? We feel that's a softer energy. So softer must mean weaker because usually, normally, soft means weak. But it's actually the opposite because softer doesn't mean like soft in feeling, it means higher. So when you feel softer, you feel lighter, you feel more joyful, you feel lighter, you go up, you ascend, right? You're at a higher level. When you're angry, when you're sad, when you're emotional, your words, everything's keeping you down. It's keeping you small. It's keeping you dark. But as soon as you start to open up, oh my gosh, I love you. Like, right? Think about when you tell somebody and you truly mean it, oh my gosh, I love you. Or when you talk to your animals, oh my gosh, I love you so much, right? Your heart is big and expansive. Your words carry all that beautiful emotion and they respond, right? You tell your dog, oh, you're so cute. And what do? Their entire body wiggles, right? It's just like, oh my gosh, I love that. It's not just your words, it's the energy of your words. So, like my little dog, Nina, likes it when I talk baby talk to her. So she gets all wiggly, right? It's the energy of my words. Whereas Shrek, my pit bull that recently passed, he was a big blockhead. I mean, his head was huge and he was a big blue nose. And Shrek, true to his name, he didn't like baby talk. You had to go, oh, Shrek, oh, Shrek, look at you. And that made him happy. And that made his whole body wiggle. But you had to talk to him like that. And it was so funny because I never had a dog that liked to be talked to like that, but it fit his personality. So it's not just your words, right? It's the energy of your words. So we have to be really mindful of that. So when you want to just check in with yourself, how am I feeling? What am I really feeling right now? Just do your muscle testing and do your muscle testing too. It's like do your muscle testing with yourself in the animals too. It's like, am I feeling stressed right now? Am I having an inner stress? I'll do that. Like ask myself little questions like, I don't feel stressed, but am I showing stress? It's like, yes, 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 right? And I go, ooh, okay, okay. I need to ground myself. Okay, I need to ground myself. And then I ground myself. Okay, am I better? Yes. Okay. Do I still need to do some breathing? Yes. I do that with muscle testing just to check in with myself because I am not always in tune with my body, but my higher self is. So muscle testing actually helps me to go, okay, I may think I'm feeling relaxed, but I'm actually really not that relaxed. So it really helps me doing this muscle testing. And this is the one I kind of go to, but this one is kind of a good one to get sensitive to the weight to less, because sometimes with this one, you might just pull yourself through and go, I don't know if that's a yes or no. Remember, you're not trying to fight it. You're just trying to go, okay, yes. And then, okay, this is a no, like there's resistance. So another way that you can, and this is so effective with the animals, and it's a great litmus test again for inside your body, is the gratitude meditation. So I learned this in meditation school, and it's great. So let's close your eyes because it's easier to do this when your eyes are closed because I don't want you watching each other or watching me. I mean, you can watch me, it doesn't matter. But I want you to think before we go into this meditation, I want you to bring to mind something that makes you super, super happy. Oh, gosh darn it. And I meant to get a picture of this for you guys. So for me, the thing that makes me happier than anything else in the world is bunnies. And I can't even say bunnies. And I know I've told you guys this a million times. I can't say the word bunnies without cracking up. It is my go-to happy word. It's my go-to happy place. And like 30 years ago, my friend sent me this picture and it's like the picture of a sky, but then there's like this white bunny that's like looking down over you, almost like taking a picture of the sky, and then a bunny like did a total popped in over it. And so maybe I'll try and get it for you and show it to you on one of these other weeks. But it's so funny. So I always think of that picture and how funny bunnies are. They're just hysterical. So that's my happy word. But think about something that truly makes you so happy. Like it could be ice cream or it could be the beach or whatever it is for you, but something that literally just, oh my God, brings me so much joy. Or even if it's like a show, whatever that is, just bring it to mind so that you have it because we're going to use it as kind of an anchor here. So I want you to close your eyes and we'll just do some cleansing breaths, breathing in deeply through our nose, pulling your breath deep into your belly, and then slowly release your breath out your mouth. And just two more of those. And when we release our breath out our mouth, we're stimulating our parasympathetic nervous system. We can really feel your body just immediately start to calm down. And then once you finish with that, I want you to just focus on your body and on your heart, just how you're feeling in your heart right now. And just focus on breathing into your heart. And I know that might be a little bit different, but just imagine your breath going into your heart. When it goes in, it expands it. And on the out breath, you're expanding that beautiful feeling of love. And now I want you to bring to mind something that makes you just giggle and so happy. And so for me, it's going to be bunnies. And just focus on that happy picture, happy image, or happy emotion, and allow yourself to smile. Allow yourself to really feel deeply how much joy this brings to your heart, to your body. maybe it doesn't bring you immense joy, but just allow yourself to feel joyful when you think about it. And it really helps to smile, to allow yourself that outward feeling of joy. There's nothing more beautiful than a smile. And now I want you to think about the wars that are going on and just shift your focus to the wars and maybe the animals that are caught up in these wars. And now I want you to focus on what your heart is doing at this moment as you think about when the war and when you turn your attention to what might be happening in the war. And just feel how that feels on your heart. Maybe your heart feels heavy. Maybe you even feel tightness at your chest. Does your breath go shallow? Just focus on what that brings to you. And now let's go back to joy. Let's think about bunnies and ice cream and I don't know, little girls jumping rope, just whatever that is for you, just anything that's going to bring lightness to your heart. Maybe if you've been to care, maybe it's the tigers or the monkeys at care. They're so funny. Or maybe it's your own animals. Maybe it's a horse. Horses are really funny. But whatever that is, just allow yourself to feel that joy. And allow yourself to sink into it. And now I want you to open your eyes and I want to talk a little bit about this. So, when we think about something that makes us smile, right? We're thinking about something we know and love, right? And that brings a lot of joy to our hearts. And then we thought about the war and maybe what's happening to the animals, and that brings heaviness to our hearts. One thing I want to bring up, and this is kind of goes piggybacks on last week's, is neither one are real at this moment for us, right? It's not like right in front of us. We're not dealing with it right now. Right now, we're here together. We're focused on this meditation. What I want you to remember is that worrying doesn't change anything. But when we share our heart, our joy, our love, that does create change. That is true compassion, right? So healing is just compassion. And compassion doesn't mean that you are overly empathetic or you're a doormat. Compassion means that you're in a loving space. And this is interesting. I was just listening to The Power of Now, and they talked about how compassion, not only is it true healing, but there is no giving or receiving in compassion with another being. You are just together in a compassionate state. And that's what animals bring to us, right? So when we are thinking about that joyful meditation, and so you find yourself worrying, you find yourself going, oh my gosh, I don't know if this animal is going to get healed. I don't know if this dog is going to get better. I don't know if this horse, the colic is going to, heal, whatever that is, whatever it is. And even though you might not be saying the words out loud, you're saying them in your head. And when you say them in your head, you're creating this energy. So the easiest way for you to maybe turn that around is to have that happy word. So search for that happy word, search for that thing that you can easily, just like me, right? It's so easy for me to do it. It's Pavlov's response. If I'm feeling upset, if I'm up, bunnies, 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 and then I'm okay, right? It's something that quickly lifts me out of it. You need to have that thing for yourself so that when you go sit with an animal, especially if you're worried, especially if you're concerned, you can switch that. So I think if you were on last week's call or if you listened to last week's call, I talked about this baby crow that fell out of the nest on July 3rd. And I took it to the ER because the Bird Association was closed on 4th of July. And they did a check on him and he was fine. And so they said, just take him back. So I did. It was 4th of July night and I started to get worried, right? Oh my gosh, the fireworks, I'm going in my head. I'm creating this whole scenario. And I went, no, all is well. All is well. Think of bunnies. Nope, all is well. Everything's good. And so the next morning I went, the baby crow was still in the little box with the nest and he was doing good. And then I went back later that afternoon and he had jumped out of the little nest. He was running around. And then so every day the little crow was out doing something, and one day there's like a water feature back in this little teeny park where he is, and he was like over by the water feature, over in the water, and I was like, oh my god, something's going to happen to him. And I tried to move him, and the mom got really mad, and I was like, okay, I'm interfering with nature, I need to calm down. I was worried, right? I was worrying. So then, okay, bunnies, 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 get back in that space. So I had to get back in the space, and I had to go, you know what, everything's fine, all is well, all is well. And the next day went over, oh, now he was in the middle of the park, and then I started to get upset with him because I was just like, you know what, you're kind of a nuisance at this point. You need to start flying. You need to get off the ground. I'm not liking you right now. But everything was fine because his mom was always around. She was always dive bombing. She didn't like men, but she dive bombed people that got too close. So it was all fine. Well, then yesterday he finally got up in a tree. So now he's flying and everything's fine. But it was such a great reminder for me because one, he's a wild animal, right? I can't just go and hold him and put all my stuff on him. But energetically I was. And so I really had to be careful because I didn't want to do that to the mom and to the baby, because when I'm going through my head, oh, this could happen, that could happen. What about the dogs? What about this? Blah, 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 blah. That's bringing a negative energy. It's my worrying changes nothing. But what my worrying does do is it creates a stressful situation for them because they feel it. Whether I'm up in my apartment or down on the ground with them, they're feeling this, because when we even think about animals in our lives, it's a connection. And I learned this from the Tigers That Care. And I know, Kelly, I know you've experienced this too. It's when we think of our animals, they feel it. And they're so connected to us. I don't know, any of you who have dogs, if you have somebody in your house that goes to work every day, 5 days a week, whatever, the dog knows like 10 minutes before the person drives in the driveway that, oh yeah, they're coming home. They're so connected with us, right? And it could be any time of the day. It doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, it's 5 o'clock, so I know like clockwork, that's when they come home. Sometimes they're late and they're like, they know they're going to be late, and then all of a sudden, oh, 10 to 6 now, yeah, they're coming, whatever that is. They are very connected to us, so we have to remember that. And it was so great for me to have this experience with these crows, because I was like, okay, I've really got to get into my practice. I love to be all, it's so easy and thoughts. It's like, no, it's not. It's so hard. It is so hard. And I struggle every single day. And I've been doing this practice. I know, Kelly, you can unmute if you want. You've been doing this practice, I think, even maybe longer than me. So since 2007, and I still struggle. I don't know, Cal. I mean, if you want to say.
Yeah, it just comes with the territory,
I know, right?
right? I mean, it doesn't matter how long you're practicing, everybody gets stuck.
Yes.
And some weeks are like amazing, and then other weeks are like, oh my God, it's been a minute. I'm supposed to be here for 20. You gotta be kidding me. And so yeah, this is really it's just part of having a meditation practice. And then when we fight that, then we just don't help ourselves at all. We just have to allow and accept that that's what happens.
And well, and like when we're with animals and we get in that worry spot, because I know you're in the shelter all the time, and I know this happens to you on the daily.
Hmm.
You get really stressed out, and then you have to go, okay, no, no.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard to go into the shelter and see some of the animals that are in there. And it's being able to set all that aside and just recognize that I'm there for that animal in that moment, in that present moment, regardless of what's happened before or after. I stopped looking at why they were in,
Yeah,
whether they were, surrenders or strays or whatever. They put it on a little card, and I can't avoid it completely sometimes in the cat rooms, the intake room, but I try to really avoid looking at that, and I don't look at their history.
yeah, that's really good advice.
Yeah, it just
Because,
doesn't help.
well, and what happens is you have to remember, your mind, your ego is so strong, way stronger than your higher self. So then it goes through all that rumination. Oh my gosh, this happened to this dog. It doesn't matter what happened. They're there now. They're safe, right? You are safe. You are loved. All is well. Those three statements are completely true. If an animal is in a shelter, they are loved. They're loved by the staff.
Hmm.
They're loved by you. I mean, you can even say, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a stuff you're going in there. You're
Yeah.
showing commitment. You're showing a willingness to support that animal through your Reiki practice. And then, you are safe. They are safe. If they're at the shelter, they're safe. And, you are safe. You are loved. All is well in this moment, right? This very second, all is well, because that's all that matters. And you hear that all the time, right? Nothing matters but this very moment. We're so conditioned to be thinking ahead, thinking to tomorrow, thinking to next week, thinking to next month, right? Because we're always planning and everything is time, time, time. But the reality is, especially in this day and age, I mean, we could be talking right now and literally a nuclear bomb could go off and by, we're all gone. We don't know. We seriously have no idea. The way the world is right now, anything could happen. So it's kind of like a good time to do your practice. It's like, I'm just going to live each moment to its fullest. And in that book, The Power of Now, which I'm really loving and I highly suggest, because I read it years ago and I feel like I didn't even read it because things are just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, boom, boom, boom. It's all clicking and connecting. But in The Power of Now, he talks about how enlightenment is just being in the present moment. That is enlightenment. When you are fully in the present moment without worry, without fear, without anger, just like we teach in the precepts, right?
Right.
That is enlightenment. So we don't have to do all of this searching for enlightenment, all of this, oh my gosh, I have to do this, this, and this, and this. You just have to be, right? And that's one of our main teachings in this practice, right, Cal? What do we have to
Yeah.
do? Just
Well,
be.
I think too that, one of the things I find most really valuable is just to constantly check in with myself.
Yeah.
Before I even go in with an animal, I need to check where I am and maybe do some grounding or do some of the breathing exercises we did before, something to, get myself in a quiet, peaceful state because, running around at the shelter and want to get in and see this one and that one, and we can be dragging that energy all over the shelter. So it's really important to just check in with yourself before you do anything.
Well, it's really funny you said that because you can drag that energy, but then when you calm down, you also drag that calm energy around. So
Right.
everybody starts to get calm around you, right?
Yeah.
So true. I have to see the chat here. So Mel, I saw that Mel said her security camera alerts go on whenever her animals think she should be home, which is so funny. And then Karen said, it feels tricky sometimes how to differentiate the nuances between manifesting the positive, I feel great, versus being authentic and honest with ourselves. I'm struggling, but working on feeling great. Kind of like how your mom said she lies, like what is a lie versus what is trying to manifest the positive. Just an interesting thought. Yeah, and I mean, I highly recommend this book, The Power of Now, because he talks about that. He talks about just lean into it. Lean into it. Don't resist it. Because when we teach us in the system of let animals lead, no resistance, just openness, right? So you can see it and say, yeah, today is not a great day. And then you can ask yourself, well, why? Why? When you ask yourself those why questions, why am I not feeling good? Oh, because this person said this to me, right? They hurt my feelings. Okay, but that doesn't, it's not true. What they said about you isn't true. Or maybe you feel like, oh, maybe it is true. Like if someone tells me I'm bossy, that might hurt my feelings. But okay, I mean, come on, you guys all kind of know me through these. It's like, yeah, you could say I'm a little bossy. Kelly knows. So yeah, but maybe there's some truth. So I can go, okay, that hurt my feelings. Yeah, but is it true? A little bit. Okay, well, maybe they're not the type of person that likes to be bossed around. Yeah, they're not. I know like Kelly and I are like totally different personalities, right? And Kelly's really soft and really quiet, and I'm not. And so if Kelly says you're being bossy, I have to go, oh, for her, it's kind of offensive. For me, it's like, what do you mean? That's just how I get stuff done. But for her, so then you have to check in with yourself. But Karen, it's a really great question. And it's why, like Kelly was saying, you check in with yourself. Where is this coming from? Where is this dis-ease coming from? And can I allow myself, right? This is where we get into the present moment. Can I allow myself to put that aside and really enjoy my interaction with this animal? Like, even if you don't think you can meditate and get into a really calm and loving space, you can always say, okay, I talked about this last week, I'm going to box this up. These are my worries. I'm going to box them up. And now I'm just going to be present. And I'm just going to focus on this animal or this plant or this tree or these flowers, and focus on what that brings to me, right? What emotion that brings up for me. That's where we can start to be more authentic, because at your core, Karen, you're a beautiful, loving, kind person, right? At your core, you are okay. You are more than okay, right? You're this beautiful, loving being, but your ego, right? Your mind is saying, oh, yeah, this is bad. You're bad. This is, horrible, whatever that is. And so we kind of have to retrain our minds to stop that negative speak and to start just being peaceful. But, our ego, our mind is like good and evil, right? It's good because it's like, hey, don't walk out in the street. Okay. It's great for instructions. But then it's also like, oh, do you really want to wear that? Do you think you look good in that? Oh, are you really? And then you're like, oh my God, it's like a worried mother. And you're like, oh God, maybe I shouldn't wear that, and then we start fighting with ourselves. We just have to let go and just be. And that's so easy to say and so hard to do. So, Karen, I think that just leaning into the present moment will help with those feelings of being inauthentic. And then also, like I said last week, if you're not feeling okay and you need the support of your animals, ask your animals. Say, I really need some support right now. I really need help. I remember one of my very first animal clients was this very sick cat named Minu. And she's very weak. She was, God, how old was Minu? Minu was 21, I think. She was very weak. And I remember sitting there going, okay, Minu, I'm just starting and I'm not very good at this. And so I really hope you can help support me. And I just remember the session being so good and so deep, because even in her weakened body state, that's not who she is. Her spirit is huge. And it's same with your animals. Their spirit is huge. They're not tied to their bodies like we are. We're really tied to our bodies. Oh, I feel weak. Oh, I can't do anything. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, my body's weak, but my spirit is still really strong. Like my dog Shrek. I mean, he was at least 17. He might have been 18 years old. And his little spirit was so strong. His body was giving out, but his spirit was so strong. His eyes were so bright. I could just see like he was still just this big warrior dog. And I think that we really take away some of their power when we are like, oh, well, they're sick. They can't really support me, or I don't want to ask them because they need me. No, we need them. And remember, true compassion, it's not giving only or receiving only. True compassion, there is no giving or receiving. So when you're sitting with your animal and you're honest, oh, I'm just feeling a little down right now. Can you help support me? That's powerful. It's so powerful. I mean, I've said this a million times. If you want to have a deep connection with an animal, ask them for their help, because they're way farther along on the evolution scale spiritually than you are. So we need their help. And I truly believe they are here to help us. That's why every time we go to teach a class, like Kelly and I know we've taught a class together out at, and what comes to mind is when we were at Keepers of the Wild, and we're there, and these animals, it's public, so they're on display. But when we did our tour, when it was closed, the animals were all coming to the front of the cages, and they were like, oh, that's really weird. They don't do that. And then when we got to the back, and there was Billy the baboon, and Billy hated strangers being around the staff. And we were like across a driveway, like, not the driveway going in, but like across the width of the driveway. His little cage was over there. Well, it was a big cage, but it was over there. And he kind of was like, but he wasn't screaming and throwing rocks like they said he would. And they said, God, that's so weird how they were responding. And the whole weekend was that times 100. It was like the coyote stopped pacing, all these things. When we go, Kelly and I, to teach classes, we ask the animals for their help. We don't say, okay, we're coming and we're going to change your lives. And we ask, right, Kelly? I don't know if you want to unmute about this. We ask the animals, I'm going to be teaching. Could you please help support this? There's going to be a lot of new students. They really need your guidance. You're the teachers, right, Kel? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also a way of honoring their agency, right? And
Right.
which is part of our let animals lead 5 pillars or 6 pillars, but just letting them know that, it's up to them also, that we're inviting them to support us and not forcing it on them.
Exactly. And the response is huge when you ask for their help. I mean,
Mhm.
I would never teach a class without asking the animals to be the teacher. I always say, I'm going to share what you can't share. I'm going to share the words, but you are the real teachers. And they completely go, oh yeah, okay, I'm ready. No matter what their state is. So Claudia, you were saying, I don't remember the story of Jackie, who is the owner of Nama Stables, or who is, and Waddles the pig. Waddles was so, oh yes. Do you want to share that, Claudia? That was a great story. You guys, this is really a cool story.
Maybe you can tell it better, but okay, I'll try. So there was heavy downpour, right, in Langley, where Number Stables is, and they had a creek uh, beside the property, on at the back of the property, and Waddles, who is a huge pig, he wandered off and he somehow fell in that creek that was wild at that time because of the rainfall, and the water level was rising, and she saw him fall in. He couldn't get back out, and he was pressed up against some sort of um fence or something, or right, because of the strength of the water. She went after him to save him. She got stuck in the water, stuck up against the fence, and this big, heavy pig in her arms. And well, it wasn't going well. Pig, Waddles panicked, she panicked, but then all of a sudden she was like, no, you know what? Waddles, you need to stay calm. I need to stay calm. Waddles calmed down, and she was able to carry him out of the water that was raging. And well, they were safe, right? But all because all of a sudden she was like, no, I need you to be calm. I need to be calm, and we can do this. And I thought that was, yeah, because you talked about how calmness also can draw you in, right?
Right. Well, and just like when we switch our mindset, right? If she would have said, okay, we've got to be calm, you got to be calm, but inside her body, she's not feeling that deeply,
Mhm.
right? Our words, our intent have to match our energy. And she knew, if I don't calm down, this is not going to bode well for either one of
Mhm.
us, because she literally said she was stuck against it. They were both just pinned by the pressure of this water. Yeah, no, that was an incredible story. We were all like, whoa, that was really cool. But it's true. It's like and even if you're not in a do or die situation like Jackie was, you can just say, okay, I have to be calm. I have to calm my energy. I have to calm myself, because I'm not being of service to myself or to the other animals. So Susan, I liked your comment. She says, animals love me, but people don't. And I wonder what is going on. Dogs would rather be with me than their people, but people don't like me, even if I don't say anything. Oh my God, that's so funny. So, a couple things, Susan. It could be that you don't like people, so we have to like look at what we're putting out to, right? You might not like people. You might be like right away, oh, I don't like people. Like, and I'm speaking for myself right now, because it's not that I don't like people, but if I'm going out like someplace where there's going to be a crowd, I'm like, oh, I don't like people. I don't like to be around that many people. And it's going to be like this. It's going to be like that. And then I have to say no. It's going to be fine. It's going to be great. You're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. And then when I change that, it actually always is fine. I just put my little bubble, and I'm just like, okay, I'm going to put my little bubble of sunshine. I'm going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Right. You're just kind of like, whenever I drive, I always do my Archangel Michael, like Archangel Michael to the front of me, to the back of me, to the left of me, to the right of me. Please protect me and all those around me. So I kind of like do that. But okay, people have hurt me so much. It's hard. Oh, Susan, I know. Like, if you're coming from a place of trauma, that's really hard. And, it's just like with anything. One, always turn to the animals, because they can really help heal your heart. And of course, that's probably why animals are drawn to you, because your heart is so pure. But don't start with a lot of people. Just start with one person you can trust. and focus on that relationship. You don't have to, not everybody has to like you, and you don't have to, you definitely don't have to like everybody. But, if there is one person in your life, focus on that. And if there's not, then just focus on the animals. Focus on that, because you're building up your trust and your love muscle through animals. And don't worry if people don't like you. I mean, we can't worry about who likes us and who doesn't, because I'm sure that even though it might feel like nobody likes you, I mean, you're here, you're commenting, I like you, you're in a safe space. So it's like you're with people who most of us would rather be with animals than people anyway. So you're with your tribe, right? So right here, you have a tribe, and I hope you feel like you could trust us. But, you have to start small, because trauma is something that it's everybody's individual path. I can't tell you, oh, do this, this, and this, and you'll feel better. I can't give you advice really, but what I can share is what's worked for me or what's worked for other people. And this practice, honest to God, this practice, it really helps heal. It helps heal relationships. It helps heal situations. It helps heal your past. But it's something you have to practice. So I don't know if you're a Let Animals Lead practitioner or not, but if you're not, then you can just like listen into a lot of these calls, because we talk a lot about the practice and what we do, like the precepts or all is well, just sitting there and telling yourself all is well. I am safe. I am loved. All is well. Because I can guarantee you, you are loved. You are loved by your animals, by, your dogs love you. They'd rather be with you than their people. That shows you right there. Animals are attracted to kind, loving people. So that says so much about you, who you are, the fact that the animals are attracted to you. So don't worry about the people for now. That doesn't really matter. What matters is that you're getting validation from the animals that you matter, that you are safe, you are loved, and all is well, because that is the message they are sharing with you. Like when you say a dog comes up to you and, is immediately attracted to you, that right there, they're saying to you, you are safe, you are loved, all is well. And so just lean into that. And hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully that gives you a little bit of comfort. But, you don't have to do this overnight. Just baby steps, tiny, tiny habits. Like that's my whole thing. I didn't change overnight. It took me years of doing this practice before I finally started to get it. You have to do it in tiny, tiny increments. And then pretty soon it gets into you. And pretty soon before you know it, you're like, oh, because I've said this before. I mean, I wouldn't say I was a rageaholic. I think that's a little intense, but I will say I was snappy. Like, oh my God, I would get irritated about it. And I mean, I probably still do on some level, but for the most part, I don't. I can completely handle things, right? And I work with some really difficult people, and I am so proud of how I handle it. I'm just like, wow, I can really tell I'm in my practice, because I'm dealing with people that 20 years ago would not be so kind. But it's all about taking things at your own pace. But again, leaning into those animals. And so I thank you for sharing. That was really, really appreciate you being honest and open about that. And then Karen said, this has been such a great topic and conversation. Oh, thanks, Leah and Kelly. And then thank you so much, Susan. Yeah, you're welcome, Susan. And, please come back and please listen in too, because we share a lot. And the energy of this group, like every single person on this call has such beautiful energy. And that's why these calls are so good. It's not because I'm like, oh, so great. It's because of the community and the energy of the community. Honest to God, like I could be sitting here and talking, and yeah, it might be interesting, but when we're all together like this, you can just feel like just the love and the safety. I always feel safe. Like on these calls, when I first started these, I was so scared about putting myself out. Because if you look at my Facebook page, there is hardly any pictures of me. I am not that way. I'm not the one that's out there taking selfies every time I do something. I don't do that. So it was really hard for me to start releasing these videos and know that, oh God, people are going to see me on camera and film. Thank God there's not that many people that watch these, but even a couple hundred people, I'm like, but the more I did these and the more it was like, oh wow, I just love coming to these and being with this group, because everything that's being shared is always so loving and eye-opening, right? Whether it's something that's negative, seemingly negative, it's still, there's always a positive spin on it. And then Susan says, I work, so I may not be available most days. Today I have time off. Well, and that's fine, but listen in, Susan, and email me too. Oh my gosh, I had an email question and I totally forgot. It was about names. We're at time right now. Okay, but really quickly. So one of the questions was from Alice, who couldn't be here. She lives in the UK, and I know many of you know Alice. So she said, does it matter what we name our animals? And sometimes people name their animals, like, let's say an animal. Well, there's a dog in the building named Pig. And it's a little girl. I always think it's a little boy, but it's a little girl and her name is Pig. And so I'm thinking maybe Pig likes her name or doesn't like her name, but that was Alice's question. Do we have to be careful when we name animals because maybe they don't like it? And I think that, yeah, I think that we have to make sure that it's a name that they maybe might resonate and love. But I will share this about, well, like Shrek loved his name, right? He loved his name. He was a Shrek. I mean, you talk to him like Shrek, deep voice. He liked his name. You could tell he liked his name. But Nina used to be called Nika. And it was funny. It was just like a year or so ago, maybe like a year and a half. I was walking her, and one of my neighbors called her Nina. And she got all excited and like went running up to her. And I'm like, okay, your name's not Nina, but okay. And then I was like, oh, wow, maybe she wants to be called Nina. So I kind of did my muscle testing, and it was like, yeah, she wants to be called Nina. So I started calling her Nina, and she was really excited. Every time I'd say her name, she'd be really happy. So then when I had a session with Taya, I asked Taya to ask her, and she said yes, she didn't like the name Nika. So I mean, there was no way I share this, but there was no way for me to know that she didn't like her name until somebody called her Nina. So maybe just pay attention to your animals. And if somebody calls them something else, or you could have a session with an animal communicator and ask them if they like their name. I know people have done that before, but I do think all words carry intent and energy. So we have to be really careful. It's just like Nicholas said about symbol 3 in Reiki practice. The power is in the Kodadama. The power is in saying the word, right? So we want to say the word because there's power in it, and we want to say it correctly. Although when we say Honjaze Shonen, it's really Honjaze Shonen, but I think that's probably close enough. But so it's saying it is where the power is. So we have to be really careful. Again, going back to the whole intent of this, the power of our words, the power of what we say, and really what we name things, right? And really going back to like naming your animals, naming things as good or bad, we're already coloring it a certain way. So just think about that as you go through your week. Do the muscle testing, you guys. I want to hear more about this. And then before we go, there's 2 things I want to announce. If you can stay on just a couple more minutes. One is we have Reverend Sarah Bowen coming next week. She is the animal chaplain. She's, I think, the co-founder of the chaplaincy school. It is a really incredible program. But for those of you who have lost animals, she's going to talk about how we can move through that and help ourselves and help the memories of our animals. And it's going to be an incredible call. So I really hope you can come. And if you can't come and you have questions for her, please send them in. I will get to them. And I'm so glad I remembered Alice's question because that was really important. But do get excited for next week's call because it's really going to be interesting. And I've been trying to get connected with Sarah for a long time. I've known about Sarah. I've known about their chaplaincy program for probably 6 or 7 years. And our paths just have never worked out. So it's great that she's going to come next week. And I'm really grateful. The second thing I want to announce is, for those of you who don't know, Kelly is having a woman's retreat, and I'm going to let her talk about it in just a second. But you experience what a great meditator she is and how loving and supportive she is. Her retreats are amazing and so supportive. So if you're feeling burnt out or you want to be with women and feel completely safe and go through some really sacred practices, this is your opportunity. So Kelly, can you let everybody know when it is and bit about it?
So it's Labor Day weekend, Friday to Sunday. It's in Vermont, in Tunbridge, Vermont, at the Little Red Barn Farm Sanctuary. And we have vegan and gluten-free food from a local source, and we're having sound healing and yoga from Leslie Joseph, Peace of Mind, Reiki and massage. So we've got all kinds of great things. Lots of animals, sheep, goats, cows, dogs, chickens, turkeys. One kid, no, I haven't seen the cat yet, but some youngsters, and it's just so much fun and really wonderful to have that time to spend with them. And it's a beautiful location in Tunbridge. We stay right in the inn. And there's a yurt on the property and a tiny house also for the retreat. We have the whole place to ourselves for that time. And there's stargazing and chanting and meditation and lots of walking meditation. I mean, just like a lot of really great times. So very
A lot of
interesting.
restorative practices
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
it's like all about. And you're really big and you're so in touch with it going into your feminine energy and like helping people get reconnected with that
Hmm.
energy deep within them.
Yes, yeah, and it's the time it's just a beautiful time to restore yourself. I mean, it really has been hard for a lot of people, and I'm feeling it myself. The energy is so heavy right now, but it's a little break for us to get away from it all and just eat good food and have community and practice and have the animals support us, of course.
I think that wait just a sec. What is your email? Oh, you can find this here. Okay. No, and I think it's a great time, like you said. It's like this is the time to restore. If you're looking for a way to do it, and it's really how much is it, Kelly?
Well, the early bird ended yesterday, but I'm going to extend it. It was 550 for the weekend, and then the rooms were additional, but really reasonable for the whole weekend. The room you just get a room for the weekend for yourself. So yeah, it's really that everything's included.
I think that's and it's so reasonably priced. And just FYI, you guys, it is the time of the crone. I saw something on social media about this. It was the tech bros time for the last 20 years, and now it's the crone age. So all of you women, it's your time to have your voice heard, to really nurture it. So I was thinking this is a perfect time to go be at a retreat, get your crone energy nice and strong, and then go out and share your wisdom with the world. I mean, this is our time. This is our era, ladies. We are going to the next 20 years are ours. We're going to be seen as
And
leaders.
Crone stands for Creative Researcher of New Experiences. So if
How
you've
is
never
that?
been to a women's retreat before, that's a perfect time to go.
Oh, and I really quickly, Jill said this. I thought this was great. At the cat shelter, if a cat comes in with a negative name, the cat's name is changed. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
perfect.
So like scratchy or scary or whatever. And thank you, Karen. Yeah, our email can be found. You can even reach out to us on Facebook too, Susan. We're really responsive there too. So thank you, everyone. And please do consider Kelly's retreat. It was in Tuesday's email. We'll drop it again in Friday's email. And yeah, it's something to consider. It's only Vermont, so if you're on the East Coast, it's not that far, and it's a super cheap. I think it's under 1,000 for the weekend for the retreat, all the food and the lodging, right,
Yeah,
Kel?
it's I mean the most expensive room is $125 for
For
the
the whole
weekend.
weekend? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay, guys,
so I mean it's
that's
a good deal.
that's a really good deal. Plus, you have so many great activities that go on, and then plus
Hmm.
people have the choice to just do nothing.
Yeah, you can just hang out in the hammock. If you want to spend the weekend in the hammock, that's up to you. You're welcome to do it.
Yeah, and Karen said that sounds amazing. It does sound amazing, doesn't it? So all right, everyone, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for your input, for your energy. Seriously, you may not be speaking, but your energy is just so beautiful and loving, and I am so grateful to each and every one of you. So we'll see you next week. We're going to have our Reverend Sarah Bowen talking about animal chaplaincy. So be sure to tune in, even if you can't come live. Be sure to watch the recording because I promise you it's going to be really informative. All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thanks
Mwah.
so
Thank
much,
you for
Leah.
that
Bye,
little conversation.
everyone.
Bye.